With the early release of Novus, this world is extremely glitched with lots of bugs that can be exploited. The community knew this would be the case, hence we protested that they spend their time with the new spells and the world. But of course, that did not happen, so here are some of the exploits that came with Novus. This video is for educational purposes. All exploits are bannable, so please do not perform them. Before explaining how people are exploiting, we have to figure out why they are doing it, and the reason is because Kingsisle has split all the gear into different dungeons, which of course all of the boss cheat. For the Athame you fight Rententen, for the boots you fight Maxine, for the ring and amulet you fight Tntosion, for hat, robe and wand it's located at the final boss, and if you wanted the deck you fight Don Manzana. As you can see, this means we are farming for so much longer, on top of having to need the specific school gear of the lower tier to craft the Aeon gear as of the time of this recording. Of course, if Kingsisle is going to do all of that nonsense, the community will find any way to make the farming faster by abusing any glitch that is available if Kingsisle wants us to play Wizard101 like it is our full-time job. So for example, in the final boss, you'll be transformed into a polymoth, which will end after 20 rounds. We do not want to wait 20 rounds, so we do a 4-round strategy where everyone passes. The next round it will auto pass while you are transformed, and then the first 3 support people flee and get a mana wisp. Then we teleport back to the hitter that is still in the fight until all of us are back. The hitter flees and must use up a potion, or some people are using cheat engine to find a wisp quick enough before the timer ends when they teleport back. If the timer does end, we will get devoured and have to reset. But the point is that because you can teleport into this dungeon and that the late cheat does not work, we are able to bypass the 20-round polymoth and just blade the hitter and mass feint to one-shot the fight within 4 rounds. This also means that you can use characters that have not reached the final boss to farm it because you can just teleport in. To respawn the boss, the person who has done this quest line can just teleport out and then back in, but it won't work if you have not gotten up to the quest. Now, this strategy will get patched in terms of adding a late cheat, but what is interesting is that if the community did not end up finding an exploit, Kingsisle would have kept the drop rates the same. The rate is not that bad, but getting the Aeon hat, robe, and wand of the exact school you need is basically asking for the impossible if you're not farming for more than 6 to 8 hours a day. And if you need to get it on all 7 characters, you're going to have to go through hell to get it all. Next, we will explain how people are exploiting the Rententen fight. So for Rententen, he won't heal if you position him first, but only if you can kill everyone at the same time. This means you need someone with a mass feint hat. Here we are doing a 2-round strategy where we stack feints onto the boss, then Scald Incendiate. This can also be a 1-round strategy if the person casting Incendiate has a Decathlon deck to give them 6 pips first round. If you do this fight the intended way, you basically have to kill the minions first, use a spy card that it will give you, and then you can only kill once you see that Rententen uses his Snowball Barrage spell. This means that the length of the fight is based on RNG if you run it how Kingsisle designed it to be. For the Maxine fight, the invincible aura cheat triggers if everyone joins at the same time. You need to kill the minion first to disable her aura, then you can kill her. There is also a chance that the minion might even cast a limit bubble, which you have to change in order to kill. As such, people do a 1-round strategy instead, where the hitter joins in late after it is confirmed that a person inside the battle has casted a spell such as a feint. Then you just use your Dragoon amulet and kill on the first round. A gear drop is not even guaranteed in this fight, hence people are exploiting the fact that Kingsisle failed to code in the invincible aura if a person joins in late. Again, people are exploiting because farming the boots feel like a waste of time if a drop is not guaranteed. Now let's talk about polygons. These are polygons and you use them to craft your Novus gear. What's interesting about this reagent is that it respawns very quickly. I have made a tutorial on how to farm polygons the legit way by realm hopping, but let's test out how fast the spawn rates are in just one realm. I do not have cheat engine to speed through the Stone of Heaven, so I have asked 4 of my friends to separate in these 4 layers. I have placed them in locations where I can best see a polygon. Now we just teleport to different characters. I am collecting one in layer 3 and teleporting to the 4th layer to check if there are any here. There is none, so I go back to the 3rd layer and well, look at that, a polygon has spawned on the layer we were just in. I scout the rest of this layer and teleport to the person on the 1st layer. Then to the 2nd layer. And back to the 3rd layer. And another one has spawned on the 3rd layer. I do not know if this is exactly an exploit, but I think we can all agree that the spawn rates are a bit too high. But who knows, maybe Kingsisle took the feedback from Lumeria in which farming the old one statues took way too long. Now let's talk about Archmastery. To keep it short, life and death wizards are cucked because Ship of Fools and Ratspin requires a school pip.
Exactly. Sounds like those are pretty important to me.
They're pretty important, yes.
Especially considering Ratbeard has decided to go back and change all of our lore spells.
Yeah.
But that's not the problem. The problem is that if you are questing with someone who has a higher Archmastery, even if you have a jewel socketed to your deck, you cannot cast your AoE on the first round. This is Christo, a level 78, and I am level 76. I have an Archmastery rating of 61 and he has 62. Watch what happens if I join a fight without him or earlier than him. I get my pip. But if we join at the same time, I do not get my pip. This is clearly a problem that Kingsisle needs to adjust so that we can quest with friends without asking them to always level lock.
Basically, my life is severely nerfed. My ice is also severely nerfed. Everyone is severely nerfed from you being a higher level than us.
So,
you need to lock your level when we catch up to you.
Now let's cover some of the glitches in the game as a result of this early update. The teacup spell says it clears 2 blades for heal overtimes, but the glitch is that it also works on a singular blade. This means that in PvP, once you use a storm beetle to clear a shield, you can teacup and set up your Jin that is now 7 pips. Keep in mind using a teacup adds backlash and strike because of the heal over time. The next spell that is bugged is Granule Amends. Let's do some damage to Nightshade and cast Granule Amends, which will heal the enemy instead of your own team. This will get a patch during the next maintenance. Next we have Pet Mode, which will bug your camera angle forever until you completely relaunch your game. Changing characters will not fix this. There was also a glitch with guilds where you could infinitely donate azoth. This recording was for testing purposes. If the glitch was true, here we have 100 azoth, and now let's try donating. It is infinitely donating the 100 azoth without taking it away, meaning you could basically unlock your entire guild for free. But thankfully this is now patched. But the point of this video is that this update is a complete mess as a result of Kingsisle rushing new content into Live Realm. This is a mistake that I hope they can learn from and provide us with quality updates that do not leave the community to rely on exploits.